Excuse me.
Hi.
I suppose. Yeah, I'll call this meeting the Ilwaco City Council to order for today, Monday, the 23rd of October. Flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, will the clerk call the roll, please? Here.
Here.
Here. Matt is on his way, so he should walk in any minute now. Approval of the agenda.
Move to approve the agenda.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That was motion was made by Councilman Warner, seconded by Councilman Whitmer. Okay, consent agenda.
Second.
A motion is second to approve the consent agenda. Motion made by Councilor Whitmer, seconded by Councilor Warner. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none. Reports. Staff reports. Anything from the clerk? Chief, anything you want to say? Okay, thank you. Thank you for being here. We always appreciate it. The treasurer's report is in agenda in the binder with everything else with all the other reports. So you can bring any questions in tomorrow or the next day or call. I'm sorry, I'm not taking any questions right now. Councilor reports. Councilor Kunda. Councilor Palomar.
Have you for sectors that we will come to general meeting that we have here that we got an invitation from the Peninsula Board response that that is for October 15th at 2 p.m. at the Pacific County Southern District Court. And it is to find out the Yakima Court and how the Yakima area has utilized its program to address the needs of the county's population. That's about it.
Excuse me, I think part of Debbie's concern is, I don't think you have your mic on and you're not talking into it.
Am I on now? Can you hear me there? Yeah, I can hear it here. Okay, I don't have much to report other than attending the general budget meeting. And we all have an invitation from Peninsula Poverty Response to attend an informal presentation on October 25th at 2 o'clock, Pacific County South District Courtroom in Long Beach.
so that we can find out about the Yakima Camp Hope and how they have utilized that program to address the needs of the homeless population. A different perspective, and that's about it.
Councilor,
I have nothing to report.
Councilor Lester?
The only thing I wanted to report was that we have our IMBA Community Bearers Community Forest Community Feedback Event and Information Session at SALT from 4 to 7 on Thursday. I have flyers up here at the top. We'll get those posted around town. And I've made posts and stuff on Facebook, and invites have been sent. So hope to see everybody there. Yep. 4 to 7 p.m. And it's just to pop in and learn some stuff and give your feedback and opinion, and it's not a full 3-hour thing.
Councilor Porter?
No report.
Gee, I can't believe this. And I really don't have anything to report except I wanted to make a comment on, we're going to approve a grant later on in this meeting for 130. Excuse me. We're going to approve a grant later on in this meeting for $130-some thousand. And on the 25th, we're having a meeting at Chinook School on sea level rise. And that's part of, I don't know how that's going to connect with this grant, but it's all it's all going to run together before very long because it's all going down the same line. So, I mean, if anybody's interested, I think it starts at 6 o'clock, if I'm not mistaken, and they're going to serve, they'll have some dinner or something, and if you got kids, you can bring them along, and you got playthings for them to do. So, this is the last meeting in the agenda of, I think we had 3 meetings, and this is the last one, so it should be finished. We're going to wrap everything up and pass it on. And that's my report. Comments and citizens get present. Mr. Berger? You might want to make sure the mic's turned on and maybe pick it up and hold it so they can hear you. Excuse me just a second before you take your Debbie?
You were so close.
Debbie, your hand was up. Did you have some a question, or did we take care of your problem? You still can't hear us? Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead and unmute yourself.
Okay.
Okay.
We still can't hear everybody. We couldn't hear anything from Holly, and we couldn't hear anything.
Sorry, Debbie.
What? We couldn't hear anything from Holly, and we couldn't hear anything from Dr. Kunda.
Well, we'll have to let Don give his report, and then we'll see if we can get it.
Okay.
See if we can get it.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Sounds like I can hear myself. Anyway, this is basically the people on Zoom land, and there were a lot of questions given to me. So if you can hold your comments before I get done reading this, I'd appreciate it. Okay, it says, I assume the city council members remember that I came before this September 11th meeting. I wanted to discuss a topic that I thought was important. While I was trying to explain what had happened and why I thought the council might want to know about it, the mayor called me out of order. I then tried to explain I was only repeating what I'd been told, and that the mayor shouted, shut up, or I will call the police and have you removed. I wrote a note and delivered it to City Hall for the mayor to read, and this is what I said. I was trying to bring up an issue before the council for discussion at the September 11th meeting. I can't quote, Mr. Mayor, but I will paraphrase you. At one point in the meeting, you said that not even a council member say anything derogatory about your staff. I think derogatory means to attack, to make comments that would belittle a person, in that, if that was your definition too. or to make remarks that belittle a person. If that was your definition too, I applaud you. I agree with you. I think everyone deserves respect and should be able to express an opinion, no matter how different it may be from yours or mine, without being afraid to stating the facts or telling the truth as I see it. I asked for a flash drive at the meeting, but I can't say exactly what I said at the meeting because, as you know, the public microphone for the audience was turned off. As I said, I can't repeat word for word what I said, but something I said upset the mayor or you, the council. So far, I don't know what that was. Please tell me, since I don't believe I said anything derogatory about anyone, please tell me what you heard. You said not to treat the staff that way. I think you would agree that no one, member of the public, elected official, employee, or anyone else should behave that way. I am sure you agree that the public should not be treated that way either, and surely not an elected official. After all, those of you on the council were elected by the people of Ilwaco. You chose to seek these positions to represent and serve us. If I offended someone, please tell me how. I would like to apologize. And if so, I would like then ask that you reconsider the events of that meeting and consider extending an apology to me. When I later asked the mayor about my letter, he said he didn't think he had anything to say about it. I think that a citizen of Ilwaco should be able to come to the city council and ask to be heard. State law seems to agree that I have that right. If there are any others who agree with me, please let the mayor and the council know. Please consider attending the next meeting in person or by Zoom. It will be November 13th at 6 p.m. The Zoom link is available at City Hall or the Ilwaco website under Agendas and Minutes. If you are unable to attend, please consider responding directly to the mayor and the council, either through coming to this meeting or putting in the Chinook Observer or any other way you are comfortable with. I think the same courtesy the mayor demands of the staff at City Hall should also be shown to the citizens who pay their salaries. And other than that, if you have any comments, I'll answer them for you.
That's it.
Okay.
Thank you. Any other comments from citizens? Mr. Rubio?
My name is Richard Rubio, and I live here in Ilwaco. I quote from the city administrator's report in the packet for tonight's meeting. The city feels on the brink of stepping out of 20 years of gloominess. The downtown core has been branded Ilwaco. The comment has me wondering, why would any current member of the city council who has served at any time during the 20 years want to continue to follow the same gloomy path? The planning commission and the councilors have been and are still denied access to information needed to understand large changes coming to our city until the last minute. The city administrator gave 3 examples: the Dillon Jude Harrell Community Center, the MSW proposal for development in Discovery Heights, and a proposal to develop land, evidently in the Vandalia, for workforce housing and low income. By being informed ahead of time with the plans as they develop, the Planning Commission could allow the citizens of Ilwaco to understand what is coming where, and why. There is no certain road to success than open government. People have time to offer suggestions, feel included, and able to buy into change. We all recognize that change is needed. There is going to be some level of discomfort. There is going to be opposition, some of the projects. Let's work to minimize both the discomfort and opposition. Prospective plans such as the Dillon Jude Harold Community Center and others are not secure by any means. That is not a comment on any specific project. It is a mere statement of fact. One very meaningful change is going to be the availability of money from all levels of state and federal sources. The whole country is altering. Every level of government is altering. We need to alter our way of doing business also to move onto a better path. I'm not against any of these projects. What I'm saying, and what I've been saying all along, is we need to have a better process. It should be the same for any project. It should mean that as early as possible, people become aware of the projects and steps being taken to make them shovel ready. With funding precautions, I'm concerned that the speed in which these plans are being moved forward, being made public, could well put the taxpayer of Ilwaco at risk. And as he and she have been put at risk before and paid the cost. I'm here as a citizen and the chair of the Planning Commission to ask that the information of these projects be made fully available before any further votes are taken, and that would bind us to a wagon with a loose wheel. I ask you to please agree with me that the price of a pause, I'm suggesting, is worth paying for positive effects of more time, more light, and more fresh air. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Any other comments from citizens or guest present? Okay, how about, does anybody on Zoom have anything to say? Tiffany Turner has her hand up.
Yeah, I'm
Okay,
in the
Tiffany?
car. Can you hear me?
Tiffany, you have the.
Can you hear me, Mike?
Can't hear her.
Yeah, she's speaking.
Are you able to hear me?
We got to turn down.
Can you hear me now?
Those of us on Zoom can hear you.
Well, that's helpful.
She's unmuted.
Holly, can you tell Mike that Zoom people can hear me? I'm in the car, so I can't type.
Hi.
Hi. I have another. Can the council hear me?
Okay.
Can the council hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Perfect. I am driving a bypass right now, so I apologize if I cut out, but I just wanted to speak on behalf of the Dillon Jude Harold Community Center, and I know this has been said at other meetings, but we are following a public process, and our process has been public in board meetings for a couple of years, and our packet is now with the city, and there will be a public hearing. So I just want to make sure that the public understands that what Mr. Rubio is requesting has in fact been happening all along. We have transparent information on our website. We have people available to speak to anyone who has concerns. So I think the red herrings that are being thrown out and requests for a pause are completely unreasonable.
Okay,
Thank you.
Debbie, Marshall?
I have tried to get information about what's going on with the DJH proposal ever since it started. And the only reason I knew about it was because I was attending port meetings. The first port meeting that I remember about the DJH proposal was not on the agenda. It was the description of what they were planning was made in a 1.5 hour or so presentation at that meeting, but there had been no public warning about it. And while I tried to get to public meetings about the proposal during the following months, they were always in situations where I would not know about them. For example, before the Democrats, I'm not a registered Democrat. So to say that all of this has been going on for a couple of years is absolutely accurate. To say that it has been open and available is not, and the information that I have sought on the website has been contradictory at best or totally illegible. I think that the problem is not the proposal, the problem is the process. The process is not working. It's making people very uncomfortable that they can't get the information. And it makes it very difficult for those of us who would like to make an informed decision about things to go forward with it when we can't get the information that we need. I understand that the planner has finished their review, but I don't see any way to get copies of what they have had changed or added to or clarified. I don't want to deny the Dylan Jude proposal. I want to understand it. And it isn't because it's the Dylan Jude proposal. It's because it seems to me that we need the reassurance that every time a proposal of this magnitude, and you've got to say huge, is coming to the city, then those of us who are interested in what happens in Ilwaco should have an easy and direct way to get the information. That's all we're saying. I'm not saying that that they've been purposefully obscuring things. I'm saying it hasn't worked. Thank you.
Thank you, Debbie. Anybody else? No other comments? Okay, thank you. Yes, we have a public hearing. Okay. We have a public hearing next, and this time there's 624 public regular meeting, and you note that we're going to open the public hearing at 6:24, and this public hearing is the purpose of reviewing the 2024 property tax levy. Comments will consider those coming either for, against levy, and we'll also look for general public input. RCW 84 55.120 requires a public hearing on the city certifying the city county levy to include the city of law. Did anybody sign up on the sign? Anybody want to say anything on our? Does anybody want to say anything on our levy? Any comment on the levy? Debbie, do you want to say something on the levy? Unmute yourself.
Okay, I have to read.
Hang on.
Wait a minute. We're gonna do it. She can unmute herself to
Okay,
speak.
go ahead and unmute yourself, lady.
Couldn't hear a word you said. I have no idea what proposition you just brought forward. Could not hear a word you said. Thank you.
Everyone else on the, can you hear there? No. Is there any statement on the letter?
I don't think your microphone is on.
I just want to remove the
Either that or you're getting echo from the audience mic.
Should I turn on audience?
I was sorry. You want to comment on the chat?
I was thinking, right now,
Mike, could you hold it in your hand?
I'm just asking anybody to make a comment after they tell me what the tax levy is going to be all about. I want you to make sure that you move it. No, I don't know what it is. Yeah. Go ahead. Comment.
This is the.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is Dave Tyler, goes on Zoom. And, Mr. Mayor, I would recommend that since there are a number of people on Zoom who would take the extra time, if the microphone is close to your mouth, it needs to be a communicate. And then go through the introduction topic again. Thank you so much.
She can't hear you.
Okay. I do not know what the problem is because
I'm getting the feeling when you enabled everybody on Zoom, the people on Zoom to speak to you, you disabled all of your microphones somehow.
okay. Sure.
It's not here. It's still there. Okay, can everybody hear us now? But we can't hear you, and I don't know exactly why. So if you can hear us, raise your hand. There we go. Okay, so sorry folks that are on Zoom.
You're very heavy echo.
Oh, there we go. So something needs to be make sure all PCs in the room.
It's incomprehensible.
We're trying to work on getting into all of these seasons to make sure speakers are off and your microphones are muted. Those are two separate things.
Perhaps you could get the people who supplied the microphones to come back and give everybody a lesson in how things are supposed to work.
How's that? Do you hear me? How are we doing? Is there any echo?
You're going to have to distinguish between can we hear you and can we hear you clearly. We can still hear you as an echo.
Okay. Okay. This is a public hearing for the purpose of reviewing the 2024 property tax levy.
Comments will be considered from the public either before or June 11th, and will also look for general public input. RTW 84.25.120 requires a public hearing on revenue source required from the city certifying the Buffalo City County levy to include the city of Ilwaco. Now, every year we're allowed to do a 1% sales property tax increase, no more than 1%. Don't raise it, you lose it. And this, what this is advertised in the paper, this hearing, and also I think comment about what it's for, and it's just a property tax increase. We're going to comment, we're going to talk about it as soon as we hear what the public has to say. We've done it every year. Like I say, it's a maximum we can increase, and it's like we've done it every year. So any other comments? Yeah. Very maximum. Since this is a 1%, I think since this is a 1% increase in done on a yearly basis, there's something missing. It's got to be continued year and year. I would vote no on this time until I find out exactly where this money is going and where the hole is that we have to keep on getting money and put it in replacing it to replace the funds. That there has to be a better way of funding. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. I don't want to get it. Thanks, Steve.
This 1% goes into your general funds. How do you afford to pay for police department, city hall, salaries? It's necessary tax. It's only 1% because the laws passed 2 years ago. As a citizen of the Waco, taxpayer has to pay a few $1,000. God, we paying their thing. Thank you.
Yeah. I believe you.
That's
One that there was they have a bunch of what we very and I mean this way it's one of those things that I think is actually from the point of view
Thank you.
thank you. You're welcome.
Yeah, yes. Would you give us your name, please?
Annie, I in a lot more than I come to be here, and I definitely think we should pass this 1% increase property taxes, be out there, people, and in the general fund, and keep the city moving. So, do it. General fund, yeah.
Thank you. Okay, Debbie, you have your hand up. Come here and get a comment.
The last three people were completely inaudible, and Mike, you are too.
Yeah.
honestly. Well, they can show up. That's God. People show up here.
You don't understand this one.
No, I don't.
Any other comments? Skylar, you got your hand up? Mute yourself, Skylar.
Yes. It's incredibly rude to yell at people to show up. It just boggles my mind, Mike. Some of us are trying not to get COVID. Some of us are disabled. And just, why don't you I want you all to start going to the Long Beach City Council meetings and look at what a civilized and polite and respectful council and mayor do and how they treat their citizens in a meeting. Your meetings just enrage me.
It was me, part of me, she told me. Greg, are you gonna talk about the property tax levy or something then?
Property tax levy, was I recognized? It was a little hard. I don't want to interrupt.
I'm sorry, I'm imposing the mic, go ahead.
I'm hoping that I'm clearer on the Zoom side. It's my understanding from watching all of the other cities that this is the county collecting their tax, and each year the city has the opportunity to take an additional 1% of what the county typically gives them, or not typically, but gives them out of the property taxes. And if the cities don't accept that, they can actually be penalized in some of their grant proposals for not having accepted all of the funds that were potentially available to them by not checking the box of having taken that 1%. I still don't fully understand the math behind this. I think at some point, it just seems to me there's going to be some way, unless it goes back down somehow, that it's going to eventually run itself into an exploding thing. But I was told at the South Bend meeting earlier tonight that the auditor's office would be the best people to explain the math behind it. But it's not the cities raising taxes on it, from my understanding. It is in fact the county, and the cities are just voting to get the additional 1% share of that money from the county. Am I correct?
Pretty much, that is my understanding, you are correct. Okay. I would give them based on the what we need to do, we can do that. Anything?
Yeah, hi, sorry, this is Tiffany. I think the previous speaker, well, number one, I'm in support of raising the tax for all the reasons that Annie said. But I think the previous speaker, I just want to clarify, I believe the process is the county can raise taxes in unincorporated county, but the cities can raise a tax, and I do believe it means our taxes will marginally and very nominally go up. Could be wrong, but I don't think it's a tax that the county gives the city.
Okay, thanks, Debbie. Anybody else?
I'm Cedric, I'm also a homeowner here, and I was procrastinating time. Basically budgeting and the effective and the quality staff and Mayor, sorry, I apologize. They're 11 me. Tell her I'm sorry. You call me tomorrow about what's getting involved here. Let her know what you guys are saying. Let me you guys are wild.
Anybody else? Okay, we're all of that. At this time at 6:39 and 6:39, I'll let it end the public hearing. And after ending the public hearing, the chief has apologized for his outbreak, and thank you for apologizing. The chief will be,
Well, he knows who I am.
I'm not sure the chief is speaking in any particular facts.
Oh, no.
He has all the right of the cities. Okay.
Public hearing.
Anything else?
Public round, take discussion.
Let's go ahead and do this. We have that. No. Okay, we have a topic before us, and that ordinance that established in the 2024 property tax levy and certification. The background to this is It's all written there, the tax levy requires a public hearing, which we have. RPW requires the tax and district government and state to collect revenue levy, was hold a public hearing. That's defined, that's how we did. The city county assessors have provided the tax, assessed value, and levy limit calculation that we used in writing the ordinance and setting the property, the proposed levy amount. The levy certification includes the estimate value of new construction as well as any estimate value and recommendations of the tax. Okay, so the property tax levy is the primary revenue source of the city of Ilwaco. It's the revenue. So time constraint, we really need to pass this tonight, but we get before the county and their minutes. And any questions or any comments or anything? I'd like to call to everyone's attention worksheet, which has a different font, it's about 7 pages in this agenda item. Photocopy, understand the word estimate, provide department. This one conveys my understanding of what we are and aren't allowed to do and what we are and aren't supposed to do. Voters in Washington put their wisdom vote 10 years ago to constrain property tax increases on existing properties to an average of 1%. That doesn't mean that everyone's taxes go up by exactly 1%. It means that the total property tax revenue levied by the city of Ilwaco can only go up by 1%. And that total revenue, which we then divided among households into every household and property, every taxable property that's in the country. So if your property is going up in value, you'll pay 1% more across whatever your property is, other people's properties, yeah, people. On the other hand, if your property is going down, that you'll pay 1% more, minus whatever percentage your property is in, compared to if we're in the property. So what we are constrained in is the total amount of the tax. And we are always constrained, especially with the general fund, in order that we can use and whatever we may be able to represent everything. It's a person fixed thing and pay what it's spent. Those are the important functions to consider. So the worksheet starts off with the highest lawful levy previously, which was last year. They wanted 243,000, it had 1%. And that takes it to 2.5. And then the previous year's levy rate test applied to the value of your new project, gives another $2,032. There's another small adjustment in the utility estimate. That comes to a new levy limitation of $248,450, about half of which comes with the 1% increase, but less than half of it comes from the previous year's levy rate, and 1,000 comes from the utility estimate. And that is the number that we are looking at. The mayor alluded to this earlier. If we do not raise by 1% this year, we don't get to raise by 2% next year. We can only raise by 1% next year, and our ability to raise 1% goes away forever. That's why I'm supporting this levy increase, because it would take a long time to follow. But it won't take very long rather than we walk the streets to realize we need all the money we can get in order to provide a lot of the services that our citizens do as minimal amount of services when it affects. So I'm supporting this, others will, and this may be a bit long, but I want people to understand what the council would like to do with this stuff, and why this council would like to do it beyond that also. Okay.
Am I on?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. This issue is of much interest to people. Obviously, we have many people on Zoom and many in the room. And I think that a public hearing should include all the explanation for this and that of public has given us, so that the public can understand what is what they are dealing with. So, and then we have the public meeting, and then right after we have city council meeting, and there would have been any relevant issues to answer. We would not have had the time, sufficient time to even pay attention, close attention to what they have said, what they were saying, and come out with something. So, to me, it's not whether or not I have questions with this particular issue, because I think I'm favorable. But my problem is on how we get there. And it is a matter of process. The people before us were dealing with not complete information, not an explanation of what it was. My understanding here is that also cities can have bank capacity, and by bank capacity they can raise taxes more than 1% a year, so long as it goes to the voters to approve it or reject it. But if last year we could only have raised half a percentage, and this year we say, oh, let's raise it to 1.5, we would be allowed to do that because we have bank capacity. And the Washington law says that there is a uniform tax within a district. And so within the district, everybody is in the so that's only the other thing. But to me, it's a matter of process. And I would keep on going back to that. That is something we have not completely defined. And it will be very helpful for everybody instead of having to be second guessing and wondering how we come to reach decisions that sometimes we ourselves are not fully involved. Thanks.
But before we go on moving the business, recognize the Ilwaco.
Oh, sorry. Well, okay. You gotta give us a speech on this in public hearing. Go ahead, Debbie.
According to what the shows on my computer, John Whitner is not muted. And I couldn't hear anybody who has spoken to this item, either those on the floor or the council.
Thanks, Debbie. We're trying to take care of that right now. We have a motion in the Senate, motion made by Councilor Whitner, second by Matt Lesnar. And move this to business. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, no opposition. This is going to be vote. I need a motion for the two proposals that Peter Williams, the cover sheet that I need to adopt the ordinance and two for taking these separately. Mr. Mayor, I will move the documents. Okay, I have a motion and a second to move to adopt the ordinance text of the property tax rate for the 2024 budget. Motion made by Councilman Escobar.
The time.
Okay, any further discussion on the motion? There is any, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Very none, okay.
Mr. Mayor, I authorize the city administrator to serve on
Yeah, the second motion. Made by seconded by Councilor Hunter. In favor? Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, okay. Thank you. The next one is, we have, an ordinance to the city of Ilwaco establishing this is the standards to, DCD water tank task order number 5. DLA. This is presented on Gary J. They're applying for boundary line adjustment to the 0911042200 0911052200. This is going to the proposal to create a new task line service for DCD line test application. Will review a boundary line adjustment to keep IMC chapter 15.92, with the vote for the Ilwaco area down from 2. Opt down there, and $4,190 for city including the application. Not reviewed by the legal, but initial on call is approved by that. And the personnel city administrator approved it. All it is depending on the mayor's decision, we send that and make it the state investigate over and send it on to the auditor to the hearing.
The proposal of the funds contributed by the public, not by other tax. It's still included for money included in that. When I read this, this is $4,100 for a paper review that does not involve site visits. Mr. Mayor, can you help us understand in what way the complexity of the project beyond what staff could do or beyond what staff could collect for in such a way that the fairly expensive outsourcing is needed and appropriate? Can you help us with that, sir?
I think this is what IMC has to go as well. We change things around, they put that in there, we just put down. I thought it would be administrative, just when it was told to rewritten, we way the plan and the area and everything.
I mean, the requirement for contract plans on all here being part of the discussion about the first one. And I'm thinking it's probably a good time to request a report to this council on how the urban county system has been working. And the purpose of the clean project was to emotionally attack the clean project. But it would be a good idea to review if this process is resulting in efficient approvals of those things that should be approved, and efficient modifications or not those things should be modified. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, I have a little bit more background. The city was made for all of this. Some of those feedback we received from their residents, basically, standards for that decision made. Or this is seeds, probably through any of the issues,
Yes, I also had that experience. I also have a question that why do we have many city planners and then also and bypass the council to go to the field and examine and do a work cost. And also that there has qualities of work with the proposal that we want to acquire. It has not been even more before. I think it would have been appropriate for the city to hand it out most with sufficient time beginning as they issue the tax proposal before us prior to this company. And whether we put application in there or not, we see that we have more Congress review. We have how much we have to do an assessment of how much the consulting city planners have cost us, how much the community examining or passing city council, and how much goes into the city administrator who happens to be our planner for record. So that is something, and also is the full application right there in this topic. I don't know. Do we have the application or is there an initial work?
What we're doing here right now, we're not looking at the application or anything else. We're trying to make a decision on the work we are going to pass this on to the planner.
I'm sorry, it seems like Holly's microphone is the only one in that room that is working.
There is a person that is taking Holly's place. And same one.
I'm sorry. Trying to get this round up. Well, we're here to decide whether we're going to send this on to the contract plan. It's got nothing to do with anything or anything. We've all gone to the contract plan, and then turns off through say whether we'll get all before I say anything, I do want to thank the other two council members that have a chance to speak. Councilor Quinn, Yes, I hope there's not too much added on. In a sense, a lot of understanding is the municipal code, says that we have to distribute and all that. It's beyond the limit that the administrative documentation is also. I mean, right. With the budget, everything is overall right now. It is a fact.
Yeah, we have, real see, you have, we have this, so we'll see, sort of, application, and yes, so we call it. So we had in front of us, just develop planning, because of budget season, coming in rapid lab, that we are looking at water in order to meet. No, I again, sorry, the applicant is probably planning costs. This is not a cost that the city is going to return. Again, I'm going to restate that I would wish the city of Ilwaco had the budget to fund these things going on with this things. Like many municipalities of the state, or cities. Yeah, that they are paid salary to do this work, perhaps, or we not which we did, and many applicants who moving forward with this, even though that we are choosing to move forward with our
Thank you for the clarification. I'm very good with the data.
And the comparisons were.
Well, I had a lot of questions on this song a few years ago. That's what I'm saying. I don't know. Everything was an answer to my
Yeah, that's correct. The comparisons, of course, are not equivalent. They are for now Seattle in the Ilwaco. So I appreciate the effort.
And we wish we could deliver the costs for our applicants for development costs within the city of Ilwaco. I wish we had the budget to pay for all of them, from fences all the way up to 100-unit resort.
Yeah, residents of Ilwaco wish that we have that kind of money, but they don't. Thank you.
Second.
A motion and a second. A motion and a second. Both made by Councilor Cooper and seconded by Councilor Davis. We're now good.
Mr. Mayor, I would authorize the mayor to execute DCQR for law. Number 5, the leading boundary line adjustment and
I have a motion, second. Yes, motion, Lindsay.
Aye.
Opposed?
I don't know.
Yes.
Because there's often a track that we adjourn right after the last agenda item, I would like to take a moment to plan agenda item to acknowledge the frustration of those on Zoom. To express that we want to do everything possible to fix the frustration, to acknowledge that having 7 microphones in the room and a feedback and the audit and visiting. So then, like the ask the mayor, that we identify what the needed expertise on this, and every meeting or two, we've got it right. To bring in that expertise on a consistent basis and say, here's what went right, here's what went wrong, what do we do to make it better? I would appreciate your help, Mr. Mayor, on that. Just one motion, or I could just get your best to make it happen.
Yeah, my question is, when we have this, so it seems to me that it was a long time ago, months, and people are still are using the trouble, the time to take a lot of things and pieces. And that's why we are many of them, that's what they are assuming. And so we need to have transparency. If we have paid for our service, you know, if you have a plumber come to your house, and fix the leak going, you hire a different plumber, or you have to buy something fixes there. And in this case, perhaps we need somebody to come and train us all in using the system of marks.
I agree. We have our personnel running things at the moment. I'm sure we might be able to have a quick for this. I don't know. But I would strongly discourage the use of personal devices on the table with mics and with speakers that require muting and deafening. I think that adds to the complexity. Again, to the people on Zoom, I'm sorry we are continuing to have audio issues. They were fixed for a good number of meetings. They are back now. Sometimes there are quirks. I don't believe to. I tried to buy capacity to fix it. Clearly, it didn't work. But again, when we set up the system and we calibrated everything, I was present, and we did not have 3, 4, 5 additional devices with me to have the finish. So that would be.
Mr. Mayor, I want to say that Council last time to the nail on the head, but I think the other problem is that I go to our packet information email, Zoom site there, get to the council meeting, which is what I'm on now. If you go to the city website, get on the Zoom meeting site, then you got a whole bunch of common speakers on your computer and all that. So just for the council's general information, if you go to the Zoom meeting on the packet, only 15, or happens to me.
I think we'll learn.
Moving on. So one last step. These DCD watershed task order number 6. Water fund. We've been awarded fund. This city applied for the water policy for a comprehensive shoreline planning to receive grants for the board on October 2nd, 2023. DCD watershed provided information process of the grant application, which was awarded in full. The task order was concerned to describe an application for the estimated amount. Task order is, like I said, $132,500, which will fully funded by the municipality grant. There were additional $3,000 included in the grant for administrative and, okay, initial on-call contact was by Josh Taylor, the city administrator, is on this, and I think we have a good thing here with this study, and like I said, there's a study going on, and we let everyone opinion right on.
So I understand that we have received notice of award as of October 2nd. My history with grant applications and awards, the formal acceptance of that grant comes far later than notice of award. I would feel far more comfortable if that formal acceptance of the grant preceded this task order, but I could be persuaded otherwise that there are time constraints that I'm not immediately aware of.
Mr. Mayor. Go ahead. Pretty cool. The planning commission starts studying close to the city and places like that, they'll be working legal. I'm glad to see that there is a grant out there. I think we seriously need it because long after I'm gone, and Mr. Lesnar being old and gray, he might actually have to walk in the water and start processing to get our infrastructure and take it over the water. Is it?
This is their practice. This is much needed. And only caution that there are a couple of details where we may not have the choice to approve it, but I wish we would keep it in mind as we go forward. The first is that we are on land that was taken not from the Shoalwater area of the tribe, worthy as they are, and from the predecessor and ancestors of the current nation. And I would hope that we will find some meaningful way in involving the nation in our work on planning and particularly planning the vaccination. The other is that there is a complex interaction between sea level rise in which the sea level over the globe goes up, and cascading subduction events in which the land here and here goes down. Each increases our vulnerability to flood. And while it's not in our power as a city to integrate the planning statewide and federally on sea level rise plus subduction subsidence, still needs to be done by somebody, and I hope we will use our influence to move the conversation in that direction, although our influence may be. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
It's also, I just read that it's required. It's going to be added to the GMA, so this is not something the state of Washington is going to require this be added with our general plan. So it's required.
Holly's voice just came through perfectly clearly.
We could hear Holly clear and loud.
Okay. So here I'm talking about the proposal on forecast number 6. And on the second page, we have investigated costs and breakdowns of the meetings. They include up to 3 advisors, 2 meetings, 2 city council meetings, 2 public workshops, and 1 meeting with strong water and side. And like Dr. Conley mentioned, the student traffic are local, and why we will be able to work with the control water and this partners in this application. Why they may not be recognized as opposed to the stormwater they being recognized, they are still an important part of our community. No, yeah, they are recognized by us, yeah. So they are neighbors, these are neighbors.
What is people to do?
Thank you.
That almost business. And the moment it's started from business, or paid by Council Twitter, and second by Mr. Mayor, I move to authorize the mayor to make a vote on the meeting. All in favor of this business, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, the business passes. Authorize the mayor to execute the CG water and protocol.
Second.
Have a motion in a second. Passes one, AC one, ten, passes and 61. Motion made by Councilman Whitmer, seconded by Councilman Horner. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, so passed.
Move to adjourn. I would like us to have another thing. I'm fine, Bob. I'm fine.
No, because I didn't do it.
Okay. In that case,
That's how we have it. At the very end, and that is at the very end of the time, we have a survey for the mountain trail, and I think it's Washington Department of Transportation for the south. Like that. And I was looking at that survey in the documentation, and I didn't see any of the trails that are being sponsored by Councilman Isnell, and that where the International Mountain Biking Association would have given us yeah.
This is a different program.
Oh, yeah.
This is time. And then when we get them tied together, we'll go back in front of time to the trail. But the fair, the trail, one proposed, and when the call.
The Discovery Trail is the Discovery Trail extension would be a large part of this 5-county effort. But right now, what the Council of Governments is trying to achieve the Southwest Washington Regional Transportation Planning Organization Trail Plan is they're trying to develop a continuous network of multi-use trail system to literally connect all 5 of our coastal counties
So you can travel between them by foot, biking, etc. So yeah, the Bearers Community Forest Trail Network would be connected to this should we receive the funding that I helped the city apply for the Discovery Trail extension. That would bring us from the court to the park, up over the hill to the lookout, and then down across along the stream. Okay.
So you,
Previous, you asked for your input, so go ahead, check it out. So where we can do that,
oh wow, what is it for you?
I've already submitted on the trail system, with the EDC right now, and I'm almost finished, I sit on these community. So, I'm already submitted all the trails to the county. Like, county and everything else. So,
Well, the thing about the issue, how, why do you want to begin from one source and how instead of having to go around it?
because this is one of the,
Are we going to,
they wanted one trail and each, their goal for this planning. So, I'll submit a couple of trails and we'll see what it's like.
No one else.
So,
Yes.
Recording stopped.